Hey, everybody. Reggie Reglis here, your caregiving coach. I am here to help you today with another podcast and video cast. And I'm excited today because I am actually recording both at the same time, recording the podcast as well as coming to you live here on Facebook. So today, I actually have my notes from my blog post. I want to talk to you about something that's really important that you consider, and that is your inner critic. As a as a caregiver, and this happens to everyone, but it's especially important as a caregiver to control that inner critic because listen, that inner critic is really hurting you and saying things to you that are not conducive for you to move forward as a caregiver happily and in a way that causes you to thrive. So I want to just say some things to you about that. First of all, what is that inner critic? That's that voice inside your head that tells you when you're doing something wrong, and it does act as a filter of sorts, and it does help you survive. Now, people call it different things. Some people call it your conscious. Some people call it, your drunk monkey. We use that in the field that I'm in real estate. The main thing, though, is to recognize that it is an inner critic and it can be helpful. It alerts you when you're running late, tells you when to get up for work, stop slacking off, things like that. So that part is good. But what happens when it's time for you to fight that inner critic? Because that inner critic can get pretty critical and actually limit and dampen what you can do. So, your inner critic makes you feel like you're wrong 100% of the time. Listen, you cannot be wrong 100% of the time, right? So we have to learn how to fight this inner critic when it gets crazy, when it's overly critical. Um, Now, how did your inner critic get like this? Happened a lot of ways. Part of it is natural. Another part is from all the things that you've heard throughout your life, from your parents, from the news media, uh, things that you've experienced that you didn't take time to look at, and so you only took the negative out of it, which seems to be natural for many of us. Those things become part of that voice that is speaking to you all the time and giving you, negative feedback about yourself. What can you do about this? I've talked about this before, but not in this manner. I want you to really, really think about this. Your inner critic is that way because of what it's heard over the years. So it's heard all these things and it's playing them back to you, right? And it plays it back to you. It is situational, right? It will play things back to you that deal with the situation that you're in, but it does it in a negative way. And this is horrible for a caregiver. For example, as a caregiver, you're doing the best you can to take care of your loved one. That inner critic is telling you you're not doing a good job. As a matter of fact, you're doing a horrible job and you should be doing more. And you're not doing it at the quality or at the level that you should be doing it at. That's an example. And yeah, maybe you can improve the quality. Okay, you can look at that. But what I'm saying to you is that inner critic is always, no matter how high you take your abilities, and no matter how high and how great you do at taking care of your loved one, that inner critic is going to say it's not enough. Now, I know some of you say, I don't just have an inner critic, I have outer critics, right? I have people around me that are saying these things to me. And that's a different issue. We can deal with that. However, it is the inner critic that we need to deal with first. That's the one that we can take control of. So I want to give you some things that will help you take control of it. And I did talk about it in some of my lives over the past couple of weeks. And that is what I call confessions. Some people call them affirmations. These are stronger than affirmations. And what you want to do is take that particular one. So that one that is saying that negative thing to you. Let's go with the one that's saying you're not doing a good enough job. You're doing a horrible job. All right? What you want to do, so you hear that, right? Now I'm going to show you how to create your own confession, right, around that. So instead of just listening to that, letting it get into your emotions and letting it bring you down, that's the problem with that inner critic, right? Because it's not just a thought. Thoughts are things, right? Thoughts are things. I hope you know that. Thoughts are actual things. And those thoughts will actually get into your, of course, they're in your mind, but then they come into your emotions. There's an emotion that's attached to that. And listen, it's a negative thought. So what emotion is it going to give you? An emotion that is not empowering. It is a negative emotion. So it could be depression. It could be feeling like you're not good enough. That comes from that thought. So what we need to do is flip that thought on its head. And at first, because you're so used to that thought, flipping that thought sounds ridiculous, right? It sounds ridiculous to you. But remember, what you rehearse, you actually become, you believe. So if you rehearse the other thought, the thought that I'm going to give you, rehearse it by saying it to yourself out loud, spending some time with that thought, using your imagination to see yourself as whatever you're saying, and then that gets into you, and there's a positive, empowering emotion that comes to you because of that, because you've been spending some time with that. So let's make a switch here. Let's take a look at that. So let's say again, the negative emotion is I'll never. No, I'm doing a horrible job at this. I am horrible at this, right? And sometimes it comes as I am horrible. Sometimes it comes as you are horrible. Whichever way it comes, all right, you have to deal with it. So let's flip it. Let's start saying I am doing an excellent job at taking care of my loved one, and I'm getting better every day and in every way. Did you hear that? I am doing a great job at taking care of my loved one, and I'm getting better at it every day and in every way. I flipped it. Did you hear that? I flipped it. It's different. I took what that said, the negative thought, and changed it. So not I'm doing a terrible job. I am doing a great job at taking care of my loved one, and I'm getting better every day and in every way. Well, what if you say, well, what if I'm really not doing a great job, Reggie? Well, start saying that, and you will level up to what you're saying. But you're never going to go higher than what you're saying. Okay, that's just the truth. So level it up, say it, and then your mind will begin to think of ways that you can do it better. But most likely, you're probably doing a really great job. And so you want to acknowledge that and then say, and I'm getting better every day and in every way. How often should you do this? Here's my suggestion. First of all, take time in the morning. And I know we have different schedules as caregivers. Sometimes we don't get proper rest. So, adjust this as you need to. But if you can, in the morning, take some time. It may be 2 minutes. You may only have 2 minutes. Take 2 minutes and say to yourself that confession. I am doing a great job, and I'm getting better every day and in every way in terms of taking care of my loved one. And you can shorten it. You can say it how you want to say it. But my suggestion to you is that you say it over and over again. However many times you can say it in that time frame that you give yourself. At least give yourself 2 minutes. If you can do 5 minutes, do 5 minutes. What I would suggest too is either you close your eyes and say it and see yourself doing a better job, or look yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and say it. I like closing my eyes and doing it because I can use my imagination to see myself doing a great job and see myself getting better and better every day and in every way in terms of that particular item, right? That particular function. Now, when else do you do it? When you hear that negative thought, you're doing a horrible job, you hear it in your mind, say it out loud. And I know you have to do it in context. Sometimes you may have to whisper it to yourself. And sometimes you may have to just say it in your head, if other people are around and you can't do it right then. But when you can say it out loud, just say, I am doing, when that negative thought, you're doing a terrible job. You're doing an awful job. When that comes to you, hey, turn that thing around. Say, I am doing a great job. Now, listen, your emphasis on things like that, make it even stronger. When you put emotion in it, when you say it, my friends, that makes it even better. I am doing a great job and I'm getting better every day and in every way. Now, I'm going to give something else to you. Now, I said you close your eyes. One of the things you can do is close your eyes and say it when you can. Okay, you can't do it if you're driving, right? Be smart. But if you can do it and imagine it, especially in the morning when you're alone, hopefully you can do it that way. Another thing, put your emotion into it, put your body into it too. That get everything in you involved in it. I am doing a great job and I'm getting better every day and in every way. Now it sounds silly, right? But your subconscious mind is hearing you. And when you add excitement to it, your subconscious mind says, hey, that's something good. Let me take hold of that, right? You put some emotion in it as well. I'm telling you, my friends, this is very, very powerful, right? And it will help quiet down that inner critic that is telling you you're doing a horrible job. So I'm hoping I hope that this helps you today. That's really all that I have for you today. Take that one thing and use it and report back to me. Tell me how that helped you. I know it will because it helped me. I did that. And I know a lot of people that do that in different areas. And you may already do it in another area. Apply it to this area too. All right, my friends, this is Reggie Regals, your caregiving coach. I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I understand you, and I'm here for you. I see you, I feel you, I hear you, I understand you, I care about you, and I'm here for you. Reggie Regals, your caregiving coach. Have an outstanding rest of your day.